Back at SEC Media Days. Looking forward to this one. Part of our Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour. It's presented by Duffy Sports Grill. And I'm excited, sitting across from me is a man who won a Super Bowl in Miami, Roman Harper.
Best place to win a Super Bowl out there, period.
I want to get into
that.
No
better place.
I want to get into that. Maybe some after-party stories.
No question.
Roman Harper, he's a Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, first-team All-SEC, played at Alabama, won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints, and now he joins me here at SEC Media Days. Roman, appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, Alejandro. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everybody that has come by.
Oh, and shout out to my man John Vilma, who's on the
– Yes, sir.
He's one of the Orange Bowl committee people.
Yes.
So shout out to my man JV.
Miami legend. Miami legend.
He is he'll never leave. He'll never leave.
So, yeah. This is cool for me because 2010, you're in Miami, you're playing in the Super Bowl. Back then it was Sun Life Stadium. Now it's Hard Rock Stadium. It looks a little different now.
Oh, they've definitely upgraded.
Yeah. Have you been since the upgrades?
I went to the Orange Bowl, Alabama, Oklahoma a couple years ago. Shout out to my man JV with another hookup on the tickets. Shout out. I mean, we had the great seats too right there in the 73 zone. So the
72
zones. Super Bowl year.
That's our undefeated. That's the greatest year of my life, Roman. I still hold on to that.
I mean, Mercury Morris does too. And so
Larry Zonka too, man. He's tweeting all games.
I'm not mad. But no, man, it was the stadium. I mean, having their own TVs in front of you, the food, everything was electric. It was great. I mean, you guys have been the example of what you can do with this already existing stadium if you continue to just take care of it. A lot of other people should look at what you guys have been able to do down there in Miami with that stadium.
Stephen Ross has he's put a lot of money into. We got F1 now. Yeah. There was soccer tournaments.
Yes.
Crazy. So take me back to that. I know it was 14 years ago now. Your Saints beat the Colts at Sun Life Stadium. What were like some of your core memories from that? Other than you won the Super Bowl. That's like the culmination of your lifelong dream.
Right.
I know, but from Radio Row being there, the full week of practice.
Yeah, so the week before you're in New Orleans and we're going hard, and so you get to Miami and it's just it's media crazy. It's people from all across the world. You get people interviewing you from different countries for the first time, and we had a linebacker, Scott Fujita, he was an adopted child who's like 6'5" something, and his parents are Japanese, and he was like the first Japanese chance to win a Super Bowl is a Japanese person. So, they were there interviewing him. It was really, really cool to see all these different people here and all around. And you really get to see it and pay attention to it once you get into the Super Bowl. Then you hear about all the media. We were not the favorites, so we get to hear about Peyton Manning and this, that, and other all week. And you're just tired of it. Of course, you can read Sean Payton's book about us missing being late to the media stuff. I mean, we kind of partied hard, but that's who we were as a team.
That's what I want to know about.
Yeah. We kind of partied hard, all right? We went hard. We went to Club Bed, for all those that don't know or used to know what that is, right there on the ocean down there.
It's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore. But it used to be the spot on a Monday night, so it was good. And it was really funny because I look back and we see some Colts players in there, and they were acting like they had been there before because they had been.
Yeah.
And we were totally acting like we had never been there before because we hadn't been. And it was a great time, and we ended up winning that game. The onside kick, I remember Sean Payton coming in at halftime because I was the one that was supposed to field it. So he comes in and is like, hey, we're running ambush. And as the defense, because most of us are on the kickoff team, like, dude, let's call it. All right, whatever. It's, halftime in Super Bowl is 20 minutes, so it's a lot longer than what you normally have. And I didn't know if he was going to continue to keep the play on, but I'm like, dude, we're trying to work on defense here. Just like, if you're going to call it, just call it. Like, we're good. We've been practicing it for like 3 months, so it's whatever.
That's crazy to me, though. Like, hey, your coach comes in, biggest game of everybody's life. Yeah, we're going to run an onside kick here coming out of halftime. Like, that's still one of the ballsiest calls ever, right?
I think it is ever. In the moment, the situation, nobody else has ever done it.
But it's genius because it worked out.
Because it worked out.
Yeah.
And the kick wasn't perfect. Hank Baskins kind of let it bounce off of him. It wasn't because we never actually practiced what if somebody else doesn't touch it besides me. Like that, we never practiced that.
Crazy.
And we just reacted. And Chris Reese was happened to be Johnny on the spot. And I dove right on him. It was crazy. And then the rest is history,
then
right?
But you knew, right, at that point? Like,
no, we didn't.
No?
We still had to score a couple times. And, of course, we were playing MVP Peyton Manning at the time. And so we really had to just kind of seal the deal. And I didn't know till we stopped him on that last drive. But Tracy Porter getting the interception really, really helped. And then you get to celebrate. And there's no better place to celebrate a Super Bowl win than in Miami because nothing closes, and you can literally get it how you live, however you want it.
So 2010, I was like a freshman in high school, but I can imagine back then it was still.
Oh, yeah, man. I had
fun.
all my boys with me because I was single and young and, like, all my boys from high school. And it was, like, on, bro. It was on.
Well,
it was a great
don't
time.
reveal too much.
I'm
like,
not going to.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I can't get in trouble. I'm good.
Was it club bed for the post game also? Like
no,
after the Super Bowl,
it was
you guys
not.
party?
No, it was not.
Because I don't think Liv was.
No, guys. Some guys did do live. They were
Yeah.
charged like Lil Wayne and everybody. It was like 20-something grand a table. I didn't pay that. That's all you need to know.
Drew did. Drew's pulling in the money. So I just got the motion. We don't have too much time left. I'm going to run through some questions that I had for you.
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa, some of the comparisons down in Miami have been Drew Brees. Do you think those are fair? You got to play against Drew in practice for years. You won a Super Bowl with him. Do you think those are fair comparisons?
I would love him to have the trajectory of Drew Brees. I think it can be fair, but you got to think about it, dude. After 4 years, Drew Brees got replaced in San Diego.
Right.
Okay. So if Tua's on that trajectory where all of a sudden Drew, by year 6, 7, 8, when he got to New Orleans, was freaking fantastic. That's when he hit his stride. And so everybody's expecting Tua to be this, and this, and they want to say this. Dude, if he is on a Drew Brees trajectory, then let's give him 2 more years, and he will continue to figure out his game and be even more accurate, to be even more on time, to be even more deliberate and everything else. And then the team around him will continue to grow, and then they'll continue to get better. They've been really unhealthy down there in Miami.
Yeah.
They've been really beat up, and it's really caused them. And then going on the road in Kansas City, I don't think Miami ever wins a game in the playoffs when it's 20 degrees.
Nah, I don't. Well, it was like minus 20 degrees actually. Again, Roman Harper, former NFL and Alabama safety. You do the Second Acts podcast.
Yes.
You and Peanut Tillman.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of what you and Peanut are doing. I do a show with Channing Crowder, who's not with us right now, but he's had that transition after football. And, it took him some time doing radio. Now he's blowing up with the Pivot podcast.
Yep.
And that's kind of what the basis of your podcast is, right? You and Peanut Tillman kind of trying to talk with guys almost like a therapy session
it is.
Of sorts, and talk about that transition after football and what comes next.
It's really been great for me as well, because when I'm not trying to say we're hazing anybody, but when you get hazed or when you're hazing other people, like, you become hazing yourself. And the fact of, like, I'm learning more about myself as I talk to others. And I'm looking at them, and I'm kind of sometimes looking in the mirror. And it also is like, man, vulnerability equals strength. And so I'm able to be vulnerable with these guys. They're really opening up to us. They're talking to us about things that they probably wouldn't talk to others about. Why? Because we've been in the same room. We've kind of walked that same line with them. And everybody's in their second act right now. So how are we doing it? How we're accomplishing it? And the thing we all have really known is that there is no rule book. There is no guidelines to this. Everybody kind of has to do it on their own and figure it out on their own. And, like, it's tough. And nobody really talks about it because we're supposed to be big, tough guys and football guys. We got all this money. We got all these successes. And all of a sudden, you don't have a jersey anymore, and what do? Something that has defined you your whole life, and all of a sudden now it's no longer there. Like, who are you? And we all kind of go through that transitional phase of trying to figure out who we want to be, what do we want to try and do, whether it's coaching, whether being around football, all these other things, being in business. It's been really, really cool to see everybody, so many people's journey, so many great players that I looked up to and that I've actually got to know and got to sit down with and sit across from and just learn about their life. Hearing all the great Andre Bad Moon Rising stories was, like, fantastic. Like, man, so good. Hearing Cam Newton stories from the heart.
Right.
I was his teammate, but hearing stuff from the heart was really, really cool to kind of see. And we got so many other guys. We got another one we got going in Charlotte in a couple weeks. And then the NFL continues to promote us, and it's really, really doing good. And it's been very therapeutic for a lot of these players to let everybody else know that their story about their journey.
Again, you can follow that podcast, Second Acts podcast, on your Instagram, Roman Harper as well. Appreciate the time, man. It was fun catching up with you and talking about Miami. And
no doubt.
And what you
when
won.
we won that Super Bowl. We played Miami early in the year in Sun Life Stadium. You guys were up 21. Ricky Williams was running. He had like an 80-yard run, and nobody touched him. My cornerback, Tracy Porter, dove into the ground because he didn't want to tackle him, and I don't blame him. And but we came back, and I never forget, after that game, he said, man, we're coming back here. And Drew Brees, that was the first time I seen him spike a ball. He jumped up and dunked it on the goal line.
I was
the goal
there.
Post.
I was there. I don't want to talk about it
anymore. We said we were going to come back there and do that, man. And it was really a pleasure that we got to do that. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Roman Harper. We'll take a break. More from SEC Media Days next on Hochman and Crowder.